Welcome everyone to the program EdTech Monday Nigeria, brought to you by the MasterCard Foundation in partnership with Co-Creation Hub Limited. EdTech Monday is a platform to facilitate critical conversations on the use of technology for teaching and learning by bringing together key stakeholders, including policymakers, EdTech entrepreneurs, teachers, and parents. Thank you all for joining us on this episode of the show. My name is Joyce Daniels, your usual host. Our topic for this episode is advancing girls' education through digital learning. Advancing girls' education through digital learning. The International Day of the Girl Child is marked every year on the 11th of October with the goal of increasing attention to issues regarding the education and empowerment of the girl child. According to Rahama Farah, Chief of UNICEF Field Office in Kano State, Nigeria, she says there are 18.5 million out-of-school children. 60% of these out-of-school children are girls. That is over 10 million girls out of school right now. Estimates from UNESCO indicate that about 11.2 million girls and women globally may drop out or not have access to school due to the effects of the pandemic. However, during the pandemic, we witnessed increased adoption of remote learning through the use of digital technology. Unfortunately, this development further revealed wide gender gaps in access to and use of digital technology. In addition to this, girls are faced with other barriers to education, including physical distance to schools, high cost of education, unequal burdens to take up household work, sexual and gender-based violence, exclusionary beliefs and policies, and of course, long-standing negative perceptions on the value of educating girls. Importantly, successful cases of maximizing both high and low-end technologies for education delivery exist. In order to accelerate action for girls' education, there is still a need to address fundamental issues of access to tech, access to technology, and enabling infrastructure, digital literacy, online safety, and enabling policies. We would love to hear from you, our listeners. What actions do we need to take to leverage digital learning in advancing education for girls? Join our Telegram channel, EdTech Monday Nigeria, or send us a text or WhatsApp message on 0703 165 0809 and let us know what you think. On this edition of EdTech Monday, our panelists will discuss advancing girls' education through digital learning. In no particular order, allow me to introduce our panelists. We have with us Eunice Thomas, who is a highly sought-after conference speaker and leadership coach, and she impacts the world. She's known for teaching practical leadership principles and life learnings to help people succeed and become transformational leaders in every sphere of their lives. She's the lead facilitator of one of the best human technology and optimization programs known as MAGIC. She's therefore known as the Magic Woman. With over a decade in governance, Eunice Thomas is a leading voice in the educational sector in Akwa Ibom State and across Nigeria, having served as Honorable Commissioner for Education and Honorable Commissioner for Women Affairs. Eunice ensured the speedy passage and implementation of the Child's Rights Act and the free and compulsory education policy when she served. She, through her education consulting firm, Velsio Limited, provides a globally celebrated education solution package, the outcome-based education model, to primary and secondary schools. In partnership with the Department of Leadership and Critical Thinking, she founded Top Teaching Aid, a non-governmental teacher training organization that provides funding and teaching modules for teachers. Eunice has a doctorate degree from University of Canterbury, and she holds certifications from Harvard and the United Nations Development Program. Welcome, Eunice Thomas. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Also with us is Temilade Adelakun. Temilade is a user-centric product manager with a number of skills that cut across communication, user research, market research, program management, and business development strategy, amongst others. She enjoys being in a creative and challenging environment, as this allows her to think outside the box to birth ideas that provide solutions to problems. She's interested in products, technology, startups, data analytics, and business intelligence. She's a graduate of mechanical engineering from the University of Ibadan, also an alumna of the Nigeria Higher Education Foundation and the Nigerian University of Technology and Management. She currently works as an associate product marketing manager with Google. Temilade loves volunteering and inspiring girls in secondary schools through Temilade loves volunteering and inspiring girls in secondary schools to pursue STEM-related careers. Welcome, Temilade. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you, Joyce. I'm really excited to be here.
Awesome. And we have with us Oseme Ann Egbodion. She's a 23-year-old 600 level optometry student at the University of Benin. Oseme, what a delight to have you with us today. The first question, and allow me direct this to Eunice Thomas. What are some challenges girls face in terms of accessing digitally enabled learning, in your experience?
I want to begin by thanking you, first of all, for the opportunity to contribute. You see, first of all, I'll start by the cultural, traditional, and societal beliefs. Those are the things that have kept the women down, the girls down. So our parents teach us what have been taught to us. And, you know, because your mentor has got to know something to be able to hand it down. Our mothers were not socialized to accept, adapt to technology, because of course, the women who taught them did not experience technology. But because it is essential now to balance it, there is an opportunity out there for the girl child and the boy child. But the girl child cannot compete because the father taught the boy child to fix the car, to fix the radio, to fix the television, to come wash the car with him and all of that. So our girls have been socialized to be domestic, cooking and blah, blah, blah. So this is what we have to check. That's 1. 2, the companies that are producing toys, they produce toys for girls, and they produce baby dolls. They produce hairy, furry, dolls for children. And they say, they produce these things in certain colors, and they direct them, they target the girl child, which is not really good when right now we are trying to bring the girls over into the masculine community. And they insist on technical toys being for the boys. They do it in this blue color. They leave the girls in the pink box. I want to suggest that we can speak to product managers, designers of these kinds of products to try and mix the colors. Produce toys, technical toys, mechanical toys for girls in their color, and same for boys. Again, in the classrooms, I would like that sitting in classrooms would be pairing. We find that when we enter the classrooms, we have women, fine girls in front of the row, and then the boys are the backbenchers. It's not helping us. It is further segregating the girls from the boys in the class. To grant them access, they need peer-to-peer conversations and reviews. So I would like for us to sit the girl beside a boy and sit a boy beside a girl. Not only does the girl child need to understand technology, digitalization, the boy child has got to understand feminism, because from the classroom to the bedroom, we have got to culturalize these ones to understand that roles are not purposes.
Insightful solutions.
Thank you very much for the question. Let me start by congratulating the organization for this very important conversation. Before talking about the challenges that girls face with digital learning, I think it's very, very important for us to put it on the table that girls are disproportionately disadvantaged, whether you're looking at social issues, whether you're looking at economic issues, whether you're looking at even political issues and the rest of them. And we all know, the genesis of that. Gender inequality is in the fabric of our society. Gender inequality is what drives our society. And just as women suffer when it has to do with so many other issues, so do girls as well. So talking about digital issues is not in isolation. But we know that some of the challenges that girls face come from even the whole perception about what a girl should know, what a girl should be involved in. The whole thing around gender stereotypes, to a very large extent determines what a girl does or what she doesn't do. So first and foremost, girls are disadvantaged because of this notion that society carry about what they can be involved in, what they cannot be involved in. And you and I know that when it comes to tech, when it comes to ICT, when it comes to, online learning, some of these digital things, there's the belief, that girls should not even, meddle into those sort of things. And that is why increasingly you find less women in this sector. I would like to talk about, even digital online bullying. We know young girls who have tried their hands in basic things as Facebook and the rest of it. And by the time they get online, they find people who, sort of scare them off with the sort of things that they tell them. So that in itself is a challenge that girls face, and we cannot rule that away. So a lot of violence online, and sometimes when these things happen, the women who want to protect their girls will tell them, there's no need even going to those spaces. So these are some of the barriers that girls face.
I know our listeners right now are being made aware of some unconscious biases that you have just highlighted. So my next question is now, how do we make tech-enabled learning more accessible to girls? I'll ask Temilade to start the response, but I'll also ask that Eunice Thomas makes contributions to this.
Thank you so much, Joyce, and thank you, Eunice, for giving a good foundation. So I think that we should look at this from who are even the key stakeholders to make tech-enabled learning more accessible to girls. I would say that the government, we honestly need the government. I would say that we also need the public and private sector, we need them as partners. I would say that we need everybody, like each and every one of us on this call, and I mean the populace at large, because there are so many things we have to, should I say, promote. And let me start by saying that we need to promote gender responsive digital teaching and learning by investing in teacher training on gender responsive digital pedagogy. And that would be from the government side. Now to partners, when I mean partners, I mean both private and public partners, we have to remove gender bias and stereotypes from our curricula. I like that Eunice mentioned something similar while she was speaking. That's something the government and partners can collaborate on. We need to look at the curricula pretty well and remove all form of gender bias and stereotypes from the curricula, even some of the digital books and learning materials that we have. And I think that for each and every one of us, when I mean each and every one of us, maybe we feel we don't fall under the government portfolio or maybe under public or private sector, we have a part to play in supporting STEM education and digital skills development for girls. There are thousands of organizations who are, maybe NGOs, whose major goal or aim is to help bridge this gap, and their mission is to talk more about girl education. We could volunteer for such NGOs. That's our part to play. So you might say, well, I'm not the government, there's nothing I can do. I'm not a private and public sector. Yeah, that's awesome. But there are NGOs you could collaborate with and maybe volunteer such that you also help to promote this. I also feel that I like the angle from the product angle that Eunice mentioned when she started. I feel that we need to invest. I mean we, but the government, but the partners and the entire populace, we need to invest in knowing more about girls and young women's digital realities. and support and ensure that learning solutions we design fit their digital world and maybe the digital content they might have. Solutions we are building fit, not just we just see that comfortable. I think that, okay, I think a girl child, this should work for her. Have we like done like core research, understand what their realities look like, and how we can like build solutions to fit this?
All right, thank you. Eunice Thomas, any contributions here? So let me follow through with the next question to you, ET, being that you've been in leadership and leadership development. How do we ensure girls' physical and mental safety as we scale digitally enabled learning?
Once girls understand that there is no hatred reserved for women, there is no exclusive hatred by the society for women, that is when they will understand that the society needs them. I want to ask, if your father would, sacrifice to send you to school, he trains you with his resources, your brother protects you, your spouse loves you, who then hates you? Which man hates you? The men don't hate you, but hatred is there in the world. It can fall on anyone, by anyone, from anyone. We have to make women understand that this world loves women, they need women, and they begin to protect you as a child. 1, 2, the men have got to understand that they cannot limit us by protecting us. This whole thing started when the men said, I have to protect my sister. I have to protect my wife. I have to make sure that she's comfortable. And they created a sense of dependency for the women. They created a sense of fear for the women. We have got to get them to understand that protecting us is doing for us what we have always been doing for them. We protect them, but we don't limit them by protecting them. In protecting us, they should push us out there and have our back. They should protect us from a distance, actively. Let us be active while you protect us. When you protect us to a place where you shield us from activities, you shield us from responsibilities, you shield us from hazards, it's not right. Protect us to a point where you dull the hazards for us, you numb the hazards for us. So whatever would, attack the women are the things that should be kept away, but allow the women in the field.
Are there any special considerations to make for girls vis-a-vis boys? So in context, follow up to that. What role do teachers and parents have to play in this special consideration for girls?
I believe that you become what you see, in the sense that when you see something, often before you know it, you're visualizing it, and then you sort of begin to see yourself in that light. So then a child is in nursery school, and then the child sees a girl child sees P for pilot, she sees a male pilot. She sees E for engineer, she sees a male engineer. She sees N for nurse, she sees a female nurse, and then she's like, okay, I think I can just be a nurse. And then, so I think that teacher and schools in general have a part to play, because a child is beginning to visualize this thing right from a very young age. I remember watching this TED Talk once where this woman talked about how her child was shocked she's a pilot, because I guess over the years, as the child has been growing, she has only heard and seen pictures of male pilots, even in movies, male pilots. So I feel that even media has a lot to play in some of these things. We need to let girls understand that they can be who they want to be. So when it comes to like special consideration, let's be very cautious of, from the teacher's angle, let's be very cautious of what we are projecting to a child at a very young age. Now to even parents and societies at large. I remember my penultimate year internship. I did it in an oil servicing company. And I remember, honestly, I was a bit scared starting the internship because I struggled a bit with imposter syndrome while I was in school, being a mechanical engineering student, and then few girls and a lot of guys. So when I heard I'll be doing my internship with an oil and gas firm, I was excited, but I was a bit scared. I hope I'll be able to like do the kind of like serious work they do and things like that. I remember my very first day entering the facilities, a very big facility. And then of course, I was in the mechanical engineering center for my first few months. And then I was actually the only lady. Getting there the very first day, so I stood by the door, and then I saw different men doing their thing. So I expected that they were going to like come here and say, hey, like nobody gave me attention. Like I was just standing there and I was like, okay, then I was like, Temilade, you have to summon courage and go and meet someone and talk. And then I got them like, hello, my name is Temilade, I'm the new intern. They're like, oh, really? And then this man started asking me a question like, who told you to study engineering? Don't lie, is it your parents? And then very, very funny, like that first day, I literally was like, can this ground open and just follow me? Because I was scared that, okay, I can already feel some unconscious bias from this angle. So where am I going to with this example I gave? The society needs to help. I expected that I would be welcomed with open hands and not question regarding why are you studying engineering, which would you study engineering and things like that. So my point is, even the society, when you see a young girl, even if a 2-year-old girl tells you, yeah, I want to be, I don't know, a pilot or something, like feel excited for the child, like encourage that dream or vision, even though maybe to you might feel like, nah, but just encourage that vision and dream. Because
how do we also ensure we're creating platforms and policies that support girls in different contexts? Example, rural areas versus urban contexts, girls who faced forcible displacement and live as internally displaced persons or refugees, or girls who are disabled, or girls of different age groups, young mothers. How do we ensure we are creating platforms and policies that support all girls?
Apart from the cultural negative social norms that exist, and that in itself is very deep. And if you ask me, they are the root of whether or not girls are even going to learn, let alone even learn through technology. So those ones are there. And we also know that we need to do quite a lot to make sure that the technology we're introducing to girls are user-friendly to them. They should be technologies that they can easily manipulate, they can easily use, so from phones to computer to whatever it is that we're using to pass on this. Yeah, but we do believe that everyone is almost online these days. So technology does offer a lot of opportunities for girls. And when it is properly tailored, towards, if it's done in a very user-friendly way, it can actually go a long way to support girls in their learning.
I first had a diploma in mechanical engineering. So I remember the first time I had to use the lead machine, and my supervisor also wanted me not to, and I insisted. And it helped me because I built an incinerating plant. In Mobile QIT Eket, I was the one who built that plant. For 1 year, I was going offshores and I was working. I became very free when I got them to understand that I came there to study, to learn. But I realized that I was becoming like a man. So I made sure that every time I was showing up in the midst of men, I would wear my makeup. And then when I would come out to meet with other women, I made sure that I dressed like a lady and wore my makeup, because you have a way of communicating, first of all, with your appearance before your behavior and your communication. It's the ABC. So when as a techie, a female techie, you look like a man, you are telling every woman that they have to behave like men, look like men, to be able to do what the men do. And for girls who like to be girly, they're further discouraged. So I'd like for every lady who is a techie to try and consciously look like a girl in order to encourage other girls.
This question is for Seme, our students in our midst. What has your experience been with digitally enabled learning? What are or were your biggest challenges? What did you enjoy most? How would you compare learning on digital devices to in-person learning, since you're still actively in the education space?
Through this digital learning, there has been a mental shift actually, and now I don't relegate myself. Before, I was a victim of, can you code? Do you think you can dedicate time? Do you think you can actually put in the effort that men put in? And currently, I've been able to learn that once I want to do it, I can do it. And funny enough, like Madam Eunice said, I have had a lot of guys in my space willing to help me. They're the ones supplying the materials and everything, because I put myself there and I told them, look, I want to learn.
Final question for everyone to make in contributions. What needs to be done to ensure we don't leave this at talking, but we see action by implementers of policy across Africa.
We want to go beyond talking, and let's be very serious and factual. Mismanagement of educational funds, you made a very serious offense. Again, I believe it should be included in the next constitution of Nigeria, because it is believed that the presence of corruption in any system, before a system can succeed, if there is corruption, it's going to affect, implementation taking place. Every effort should be made to eradicate corruption from all the spheres of Nigeria's various programs and education.
It is already there. The Child's Rights Law provides free and compulsory quality education for every child, every Nigerian child. But implementation is slack because of the monitoring and evaluation system. I think we should look at monitoring and evaluation to see the outcomes and then adopt the outcome-based system of teacher training. And then train children based on resources within their own sphere.
I'm a big fan of UNESCO and what UNESCO is doing for education. And then there was this statement made by the Director General, Irina Bokova, during one of many speeches, and that's what I would use as my own final word. She says that there is no justification, be it cultural, be it economic, be it social, for denying girls and women an education. It is actually a basic right and an absolute condition for reaching all the international agreed development goals, SDGs, Millennial Development Goals. If we don't train the girl child, we can't even attain some of those goals or even all of those goals. It is through education that girls and women can gain freedom to make choices, to shape their future, and to build more inclusive and just societies. In conclusion, girl child education should be made a super priority. Thank you.
We need to make sure that our tech policies, are enabling for the learners, enabling for the teachers. And I don't know what sort of policy currently exists, but I know that whatever exists has to be enhanced to make sure that, the learners and those who are teaching are able to do it in an enabling environment. I also know that we need quite a lot of investment. Statistics has shown that, online learning industry is growing by 15% annually. And if for an industry to be growing by that percentage, we need to put a lot of resources into it. Sometimes we talk about girls need to learn, boys need to learn, we need to be digital savvy and all of that. If you go around to check the statistics of schools that currently have functional computers, you will be amazed. Let's even start with the computer. You'll be amazed. So I think that we need to put our money where our mouth is. If we want digital learning to improve, especially for girls, we need to make a lot of investments. So I think that we need to look at the budgets. Currently, what's the current budget, allocation for tech, for ICT, for all of this. And we definitely do need to, enhance those budgets, whether nationally or at state level. That way we will be able to enhance what we currently have. Like you and I said, there's been so much insurgency, there's so much issues of safety, insecurity. And one of the ways we can even bridge some of this is making sure that we have technology. If people have tablets that they can carry around, I think you and I are talking now, we're far away, we're able to interact. If we do make this, this technology available to girls, they can be in their bedroom, they can be anywhere and be learning. But that has to do with a lot of commitment. So we need to commit resources to that. And then making sure also, like I said, that the enabling environment is created for learning. And then we also need to look at language. Sometimes we adopt what is done internationally without looking at the local context. We need to look at the local context, the language we're using, the semantics, all of those things we're using. Our children understanding them, our girls understanding them. So those are the things I think we need to look at. And then we need to do a lot of sensitization with parents. A lot of parents are afraid when it comes to, handing technology to the hands of, handing technology to their children because of the fear of, what are they learning online and all of that. We need to educate parents. We also need to educate them to be able to help manage the way their children, use this technology.
Thank you so much. We would love to hear from you, our listeners. What actions need to be taken to leverage digital learning in advancing education for girls? Join our Telegram channel, EdTech Monday Nigeria, or send us a text or WhatsApp message on 0703 165 0809. That is 0703 165 0809. Let us know what you think. Thank you so much to our panelists on this episode. We are so grateful to have had you. We look forward to hearing from you again should we call on you. Thank you all. My name is Joyce Daniels, and it's bye for now.